concept for this video is Lindy Hop style triples in West Coast swing and why they prevent your injury to your knees and allow you to move more fluidly and more relaxed. So Lindy Hop is a much faster version of West Coast swing that has almost step for step the exact same patterns, just with different styling. A standard West Coast swing triple that most people will teach in a class and you'll see beginners do looks like this: triple step. Whereas a standard Lindy swing triple step looks like this: triple step. The difference is I'm moving perpendicular to my knees when I do a West Coast swing triple. I'm pulling, so the force vector is sideways along my knee, along this working knee, and then this foot can relax, and then I'm pulling again on this knee, and it is perpendicular to the direction of my leg. Whereas in a Lindy triple, this leg basically does nothing. Work-wise, it doesn't do a lot of pulling work. This foot is on a different slot than this foot. So this foot is taking up this section, this foot is taking up this section. I am not here, I'm not going triple step. I'm able to cross. If I took a lot of time, I could cross my legs, triple step, for a very slow triple. So the start of the triple step relies a lot on your turn-in muscles of this standing leg and just the general pulling. It's the way we walk typically when we walk forward if you are not walking with a heel strike. When you walk with a heel strike, your hips stay flat and you reach with your heel, like so. When you walk with toe strike, to make up for the distance lost with a heel, normally I would be striking here, I can make up for it by sending my hip forward, and then I can land toe ball heel. So the hip has to be forward though. If I try to do toe ball heel with my hip rotated forward, it can be back, but it has to be rotated so that the right hip, the leading hip, is ahead of the following hip. So this is rotated forward, this is a forward hip, this is a back hip, this is a rotated forward hip that is seated back, and this is a rotated forward hip that is seated forward. You want to be seated back and rotated forward when you take a triple in Lindy. And this also applies to West Coast swing triples. These are less injury prone. The force vector being perpendicular to your knee is likely to cause damage to your IT bands, which connect to your knee, and your knee just isn't meant to bend side to side, so you're going to take a lot of damage there, as opposed to letting this leg do basically nothing, and then this leg that is actually facing the direction you're going do most of the work, going triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step. Knee aligned does all the work. This leg just has to catch up by rotating my hip, just like I would in a regular walk, which is why I was bringing up the rotation walks that look like that, as opposed to walking forward with just the heel, or as opposed to keeping flat and really trying to reach, but then not having the strength because your foot is too far away from your hip, as opposed to being able to reach mostly with your hip and your leg doesn't swing at all, or swings very little, and you're moving forward from your hips. And this is relevant to a triple because when I take this first step, I pull this back hip forward. This hip is reaching because it's the forward hip, because I wouldn't do a triple like this, full step. So it's a pulling motion. I'm pulling with the front foot. I am not pushing from the back foot. I'm not launching myself onto the foot. I'm seated nice back here, and I'm pulling in a correct triple. You don't do it with the heel. You do not do a Lindy triple with your heel. You do a Lindy triple with your toe, which means the hip has to be forward. the hip has to be rotated forward and seated back. So you can do triple step, and then you pivot, and you do triple step, triple step, triple step. And you'll notice I'm moving backwards because this leg is on a slot that's behind this one. So every time I rotate, triple step, and I pivot, because the front leg is now the back leg. Even though I'm thinking just moving sideways, when I pivot, each time I'm moving slightly backwards. So if I were to try to move forward with a triple, I would need to step. I would need to aim more forward because I need to account for the fact that I'm going to lose a little bit of distance. Triple step when I rotate backwards. Triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step. At full speed, a standard East Coast swing move would look like this. You would go triple step, rock step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step, rock 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 step. You'll notice that one section of those I'm crossing the legs, which means the standing leg is turning in. And then when I reach here, I'm turning in a lot less. So my turnout muscles are engaged so that I don't turn in as much and I rotate. Triple step, because if I turned in on this leg, I would go like this. I would go this way. I wouldn't be able to turn around. So that the first part is a turn in, like a pulling motion, full step, and then it's like a pushing motion, triple step. So it's pull and push, pull and push. Yeah. This is a very complicated concept. I would love to talk to you more in person about this. I have a whole graph of how these steps apply to West Coast swing. The general concept, the small thing I want you to take away from this, is think about your working leg in a triple and make sure it faces the way you're going. None of this, triple step, this is bad. Do not have a perpendicular foot to the direction of your work in a triple. You want to have a foot that is parallel, and then this foot simply catches up. Work, relax, relax. 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 So a standard West Coast swing pattern, if you're wondering, well, how the hell does this fit into my West Coast swing, would be anchor step, 1, 2, triple step, triple step. 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 1, 2, triple step. Step for a sugar push or for a tuck turn. You would do rock, step, triple step, and then going back to the anchor, triple step. And if I wanted to do something like a whip, I would go rock, step, and then it's actually a down the line. So I'm thinking that way. So I've gone 1, 2, and I'm thinking, I want to go that way, but then my follow comes in here and ruins my plans. So I'm going 3 and 4 for relax, and then rock, just like a regular rock step for my 5, 6, and then I'm rotated back this way from the momentum of the rotation, and I can go triple step. And then if I want to do a left side pattern, I would simply go rock, step, and then twist, triple step for a left side pass, or even for an inside turn. It would be rock, step, and then you would turn to this way, which is what gives your follow their power, is when you turn to do your triple to the left. And then you go triple step, rock, step, triple step, triple step. I did it better. But that's the general concept. I'd love to get in more depth and more clarity on this. The general concept is your triples, your leading foot, should do most of the work. Work and relax, work and relax. And you do not want to do work, 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 since that adds a lot of power and it's not parallel to your leg. It would be great if we had legs that could do this easily for our triple steps, but that would also look sort of weird. So we mostly just rely on one leg to do most of the work because it can face that way, and then we switch to the other leg. Gives great turnout, great look, great pivots, really great for injuries because Lindy Hop is danced much faster than West Coast Swing, so they have to be more aware of injuries.